Well, it's about 10 o'clock and we're getting ready to get out. We are usually one of the last pair out of the shelter, so it is again today, but we'll make the best of it. We've got a big day today. We're going to try to do 14. We've got a couple of little climbs, but most of it's downhill, so I'm hopeful that things will go really nicely with that. The spring coming through the campsite, through the shelter area is just absolutely phenomenal. This has been one of the most compact sites that we've had so far, as everything being right here close together, and that's been nice. So we're going to head on out and we'll talk to you up the road. We are starting at about 6,000 feet today for our elevation, and we're going to be going down. Not sure how far. I don't think we go down to 2,000, but we go down quite a ways. So with the exception of a couple of small climbs, I think that we should have a pretty easy walk today, as long as we can get out of the rocks and not have too many steps to go down. Hopefully the knee will hold out. But we slept well last night. It's not too cold this morning. It's in the, I guess it's in the mid to high 30s. I'm still trying to decide whether I trust my thermometer or not. But it'll warm up as we go, and I think we're actually supposed to have a warmer day today than we had yesterday. And it was really nice yesterday. I took the legs off my pants. Probably could have switched into a short sleeve shirt, but I just didn't want to take the trouble to do it. So we're going to get moving and try to get warm. Right now it's a little bit nippy, but we'll get there. So looking forward to a great hike today. And it's going to be a great day. Temperature's supposed to warm up. Trail's supposed to be easy, so we're going to see what we can get done today, see if we can make our shelter. And then we'll be out of the Smokies tomorrow. Well, good morning again. This is our sights this morning. And I'm going to pause, and I've been meaning to do a little bit of a video featuring my absolute favorite piece of gear. You know, if you think about all the things that we're carrying with us, everything has a function. Most things have multiple functions, and I want to talk about what my favorite piece of gear is, and it's an unlikely choice. These are my Lecky hiking poles, trekking poles, and this is one piece of gear that I most absolutely could not do without. Essentially, it puts me in four-wheel drive all the time. You know, you take the poles, put your hand up through and like that, and then you've got it grabbed like that, so if you let go of it, it's still grabbing, and then you can grab around. And these are handy for multiple reasons. First of all, on uphills, you can use them to push off with, and it's really kind of a handy thing to be able to push off with your poles, because that relieves some of the climbing burden on your legs. And then on the downhills, when you're going downhill, you kind of lead with your pole like that and catch yourself and stop yourself with them and take a lot of the burden of big steps off of your knees. So in addition to helping you hike a little bit faster and taking a lot of the pounding off of your legs, when you get in a situation where you're spinning around or you've tripped over a rock or a root, which is very common because they're everywhere, then you can plant one of these things and use that to catch yourself. So you've always got 3 points on the ground, and that has saved me from falling a multitude of times. So I did want to take a few minutes and sort of feature my trekking poles, because that is one thing that if I didn't have it, I don't think I could do this hike. So we're walking around in a flat right now. I think we maybe have reached the top of our first climb. I have to look at the map and see. Still up in elevation somewhere around the 6,000 foot mark, I think, or maybe better. And we still got some snow and some ice, but it's not too terribly bad. And as we descend, this will go away. Although I have heard stories of some folks that are on the trail ahead of us up towards Max Patch and a little further along. Now this is getting slick. Whoa, hey, that a boy. Let me put my feet on the snow because that doesn't slide as much. Anyway, I've seen some pictures and stories of people that are ahead of us that have had some snow. So I don't think, even though we're almost out of the Smokies, I don't think we're out of the woods yet so far as bad weather. We'll just have to keep an eye on the forecast when we can and do the best that we can. And if we see that we're going to get dumped on, we can always try to get to a road crossing and hitch into a town or something. So we'll play that by ear and do the best with it that we can. So this guy right here, we have hiked with, Grizz. He's probably a day ahead of us. We passed him at Icewater Springs. He came through, and we actually stayed with him the night before that, or the trip before that, at Mount Collins shelter, and hiked around him some. So he's moving on, and I guess carving your name into snow is not against leave no trace practices. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, good to know he's been here and he's still moving along. Okay, so I mentioned a while ago that my trekking poles are my favorite piece of gear, and we've just come through a stretch like this right here, and this is pretty solid ice. And without the trekking poles, I would be slipping and sliding everywhere, but they're kind of keeping me moving forward, so I'm thankful for them. We're still kind of putzing along in the snow right here and the ice. I'm trying to be careful where I step. I've got only one trekking pole in action right now, but it's the first time we've seen more than just a little bit of residual snow. Of course, I don't think it snowed here in a while. This is residual, but it's reaching up and down the mountain, both sides. And we certainly have tons of snow and ice here on the trail. I don't know what the temperature is right now. When we left, it was in the mid-30s, I think. But the times before that we've had to tread on this stuff, it has been warm enough that it has been slushy, so it's not been terrifically slick. But boy, today, it is slick. So I better put the phone down and get my other trekking pole moving here, just to be careful that I don't have a fall. You know, when you're stopped and you're still here in the woods, it's kind of an odd thing some of the times of what you actually notice around. For example, this tree's fallen over, but this little tree, it's about a foot high, is taking root on the root ball and is trying to continue to thrive. And that's really nifty the way that those are. We've seen several places where we've had a huge, humongous root ball, but then trees are growing out of that ball. I was just kind of looking down and around, and I noticed the spider web coming from this tree across right here, just kind of glinting in the sun. Not something that you would normally see, but the sunlight caught it just enough that I could see that was there. It's just a really nifty thing to notice out here in the woods by yourself. Gavin's a little behind me, and he's coming along, and we're going to have a good day of hiking today. So we maybe have reached the peak of this last little thing. We got through the ice okay. I had a couple of near misses, and I really appreciate my trekking poles for that, because I did about fall a couple of times. My feet about shot out from under me. Hopefully he has been as fortunate. I'll catch up to him here shortly and find out. Much further along, and we've got a little bit of a view right here. Little tree obstructed, but it's still nice nonetheless. Tighten in a little bit and let you see what we're seeing. Mountains off in the distance. It's a little hazy out today, but I bet it's going to burn off before we're all done. That almost looks like a little town down in there, or at least I don't know, it's hard to say. But gorgeous views this morning. All right, never mind that partially obstructed view. 50 feet up the trail, and we got a better shot of it. Absolutely a gorgeous day today. We just popped out into the sun. We've got some views off to the other side of the trail now. And it's beginning to warm up a little bit. I'm not as cold as I was. I think it helped to get down off the ridge and out of the wind a good bit. So we're just kind of climbing or wandering along here. Having a good day hiking. Lots of things to see. Lots of ice to try to make our way across without falling. Checked in with Gavin and he made it through. So that was all good. A little bit of climbing now, it looks like. That interests me as I've traveled down the trail is the rocks that have fallen off the side and have either stopped just near the trail or have been moved out of the trail, or maybe the trail was routed around them. But this is really an interesting bunch of rocks right here, crevices, and that one's kind of cantilevering or holding up the other ones. Moss covered, of course. I don't think I'll ever get tired of the green moss. And we got a little bit of snow back in the shadows here. Really nice picture here. Descending once again. And I don't know if we've cut enough elevation, if that's the reason the rhododendrons are back with us or not, but these little rhododendron tunnels are another particular favorite of mine. The water bars right here where we have to step down and such as that, those are not a favorite of mine or my knees, either one. But sometimes they're built so that you can kind of take them in stride and just step through them like a staircase. And those are my favorite kinds of water bars. They have to be here because they divert water off the trail and keep it from washing the trail out. So like right here you can see, obviously water has come from down here and it would come this way and it's diverted off the trail. The water running down the trail, I guess actually more so, is diverted off right there so that it doesn't wash out the trail. And they're important, but sometimes they're kind of terrible on the knees. Whether you can tell it or not, but the trail right here, especially right up there, zoom in on that. The trail that we're traveling right now has been built up with stone, and that did not happen naturally. So we want to send out a big thanks to the trail volunteers who make this trail what it is, who keep it free of blowdowns and debris, and who build it up so it doesn't wash off the ridge line right here. And it's just amazing the work that they do, and most all the work is a volunteer effort, and that makes it even more incredible. We're walking around this little bend right here, a little bit of a view through the trees. Let's see if we can get to a clear spot. There's one. Yeah. Here's a nice shot at what we're looking at this morning. Great day for hiking. I think I mentioned that already, but it really is. I can't get it out of my mind. We're having a good trip so far. Alrighty, we are coming down, and that's our view looking back up through the bushes and such. This is a really beautiful day here to hike. Well, we've had our lunch and the beautiful day continues. I'm a sucker for these little streams that cross the trail, and the sound of the water just babbling through there, incredibly peaceful. The sun glinting off the ripples of the water. There's somebody's dropped in a rhododendron leaf right there so that people can gather water right there. It'll kind of run off that like a little funnel, or you've seen in some of my videos the little pipe that they use to channel a stream into a canteen or something. So thought I would share that with you. And that little tree right there is, let me back that out a little bit. That's kind of a nifty little tree right there. These little, some sort of a spruce, I guess it is, in here amongst all the other rhododendron. I guess he's feeling a little lost right now. This is our afternoon hiking. We've had our lunch. We passed by one shelter. There was an argument. It was okay. We're all going to be good. We're going to try to still head out to the which shelter? Fiddle. I can't remember the last. Oh, Davenport Gap Shelter. That's where we're headed to. But this is our view as we're trying to get up and over Mount Camerer, or Camerer, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. We're gonna bypass the fire tower up there, and I really hate that, but we just got a big day. We just have had a big day. So we'll talk about it and see. It's about 0.6 off the trail uphill, but it may be worth it, I don't know. I haven't found it yet. But anyway, Gavin would like to show you his new find.
So I was in a hiker box and I found not only this, but this.
Awesome, very nice.
It's a very nice survival knife that has the bottom that comes off.
Cool.
There's a little compass in it.
We'll have to take a longer video of that sometime a little bit later on. It just dawned on me that the mic on me may not be picking him up, but we'll see what happens. So we're gonna point it on up and get the last of this uphill down so that we can point downhill and go to our beds tonight. Well, this is what our last mile or so has been, is water bars and big rocks, which is great for the grade of the trail. It is not so good on the knees, but we are inching ever closer to getting to our shelter for the evening, and we have a much lighter day tomorrow. I think we've got 3.5 or 4 miles or something like that, and that's not a big deal. It's a couple of hours at the most, and we'll be in a hostel tomorrow night. We'll be sure to share some stories from there, because that's supposed to be, it's the Standing Bear Hostel. It's supposed to be one of the nicest on the trail. I just kind of walked up to this corner right there. Lo and behold, there's a little bit of a view right there. So I'll take it. We are certainly coming down out of the Smokies, and we'll be through the Great Smoky Mountains National Park tomorrow. I don't have a count on how many days, but we did take day and a half off at, what was it, Gatlinburg. But we've had a good trip through. The weather has been most cooperative, except for the sleet on the first night. And even that was something anomalous that was kind of, well, maybe not anomalous, it probably happens all the time. A novel is the word that I was looking for us, because we haven't had any frozen precipitation to speak of yet. So that was kind of a neat trick. And Gavin enjoyed making himself some snowmen. That was awesome. He enjoyed that. He is, I'm so proud of how creative he is. And I was watching him hike today. I was behind him for a ways. And you know, to see how he has matured as a hiker just in the last few weeks of stepping through a lot of this mess that we're walking on right now. You can kind of see it out in front of me. I'm stepping over rocks and kicking some and trying not to trip. And if I'm paying good attention and have both my poles walking, I can pick out the good steps and how to avoid a lot of this stuff. And Gavin has picked that up as well. He's just doing a bang-up job of hiking through this rubble now and over the water bars and the roots and all the other things, obstacles that are in our trail. And it's been a joy to see him mature and become a really good, strong hiker. He's not quite as fast as I am, and that's okay, because his legs aren't quite as long as mine are. And I've been trying to tell him that, because he would love to zoom along, and he is zooming along. He's doing I can't understate or overstate how well he's matured and what a good job he's doing. He's making the best of every day, nearly, and that has been a true blessing. I'm proud to have him out here hiking with me. Up about 15 seconds too soon. I should have left it carrying on here, because we're going to come up on a view. I'm pretty sure, if nothing else, we've got a really big rock in front of us. These rock formations just boggle the mind. And we do have a big rock, and we do have a big view right here. This is nice. This is nice. Something cool to look at the end of our day. We don't have many miles more to go. Haven't checked lately, but it's probably 3 or less. I'm hoping for less. And see all around on both sides. Kind of wonder what that white thing sticking up is there. I can't really tell from here. I don't know. Maybe somebody will know at the shelter. We've got a nice trail leading off of it. Front little bit of this, but this keeps going a little ways, this rock wall here, to maintain the trail. I wonder if they quarried all that rock from right here. And if so, thank you to whomever did it. Wow, that was a good day's work. Really pretty trail right there around this rock. Good views off to the side. We're about 3.5 from the shelter. And we're moving along. From our campsite, from our shelter, and I still marvel at the depth of these valleys right here as we just kind of wander along the edge of it. We're not at the top, but we're just kind of coming down the inside of it, doing a fairly gradual downhill. I think we may have more than 10 steps right now without a water bar, which is remarkable, and my knees appreciate that. No rocks right now either, and my knees appreciate that as well. But look back over and there's Gavin. Hey, he's keeping up. Good job, bud. He's making good time. He's hiking hard today. Oh wow, look at that grapevine. That's a big grapevine going up right there. Oh me, way up there. Oh, the marvels of what you see out here.